Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Arsenal. Breaking news. Like, this is not news I was expecting to come out today. Not at all. Ollie Watkins. We've actually made a bid for Ollie Watkins. This is shocking. So let's get to the news fast, and then I'll tell you guys what I think about it. So, according to Fabrizio Romano, Aston Villa have rejected an official bid from Arsenal for Ollie Watkins. Proposal around 60 million turned down as Villa not happy with timing of the bid ahead of crucial UCL game for the club. Villa also in active talks with Al Nassr for John Duran. Timing ahead of the Champions League game. Aston Villa, we are sorry. We are sorry. We should not have contacted you before the Champions League game. We're going to be back tomorrow. After tonight, Aston Villa against Celtic. Hopefully, you guys win as well. Get a 4-0 win. John Duran scores 3 goals. Like, I really wish you the best today. We're going to come back tomorrow. This is not the deal that I was expecting us to try and make. Now, I thought we're definitely going to sign a forward player. There's a lot of people who've lost faith because it's 28th, 29th January. You're not going to sign anyone. I always thought you're going to sign someone, but I never thought it was going to be you're going to try to sign someone like a Watkins or that level of striker in the January transfer window. I thought it was going to be someone like Duran, his teammate, or Matthias Tel from Bayern Munich, or go back for Kubo from Sociedad or someone like that. Like those kind of players, cheaper kind of players, and a player could get on loan, maybe a player could, with a buy option at the end of the season, a player like that, but not Ollie Watkins. And the best thing about reading this, will also come to the next part, is they haven't said like Newcastle, get the hell out of here. No, they've said, the timing is not good. So not now. Watkins is a player that we wanted for a long time. I think we wanted him when he was back at Brentford, like in 2020. That summer where we signed Thomas Partey and Gabriel Magalhaes from France. I think that transfer window we also wanted Watkins, but we never actually got him. Like the gap between the season starting and the season ending because of COVID was very... After we won the FA Cup, the next season started like after 1 month, so there wasn't enough time. And Aston Villa ended up getting him for around, I think, 50 or 60 million that summer. And since he joined them, he has scored a bunch of goals against us. I know he had missed a lot of chances when he played them at Villa Park, but recently he scored against us. I'm sure that COVID season they beat us 3-0 and Watkins scored twice. He scored a lot of goals against us. I think last season or the 4-2 when Martinelli and Jorginho scored later on. I think there's a time Watkins went past Saliba and scored in that game as well. Like, he's given us nightmares. He's always been an Arsenal fan. Even after the Aston Villa game, I said on one of the videos or something, like Ollie Watkins scoring against us again, an Arsenal fan. Come on, man. But listen, it's great that Aston Villa have not said, completely like, no, we're not going to give him to you. That's a good thing. Let's go to the next piece of news in regards to that same on Ollie Watkins. This has come from the Secret Scout. Arsenal have approached Aston Villa to sign Ollie Watkins. With talks advancing on a fee in the region of £60 million. The player wants to make the move. That's another good thing. If the player wants to make the move, Aston Villa is a very good team. They have a very good coach. They've been doing very well in the last 2 seasons. They have a very good team. That is something that we definitely all agree. So it's not as easy to, get Watkins out of Aston Villa like the way you'd go to... there's a lot of good teams in the Premier League these days. You can't even say Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth, all of those teams are good. Like, it's not like going to, a Crystal Palace, for example, with all due respect, and saying, listen, we want your striker, he's going to upgrade. Players like Watkins are playing for really good teams. They are 9th in the Champions League table. Tonight, they could qualify in the top 8 in the Premier League. They could still get top 4 this season. And they have very many good players around him. The likes of Rodgers, players like Kamara, players like Digne. They are very good players in and around that team. So it's not as easy as just saying, okay, my goodness, Arsenal wants me, or Chelsea wants me, or Man City wants me, I'm definitely going to leave Aston Villa. It's not as easy as that. But the fact that he's an Arsenal fan and he has actually said that, yes, he wants the move, that would be a huge for us. I think the fact that he's an Arsenal fan definitely has something to do with it, because you're both kind of doing well in the Premier League, and that is a player that will definitely take us to the next level, 100% to take us to the next level. Now, if you look at his record, the one thing about Ollie Watkins from last season that I absolutely loved, there's a time around like February, he was second in terms of goals in the Premier League and first in terms of assists in the Premier League. It is not easy getting a player who can do both of those things. If you look at someone like Erling Haaland, Erling Haaland can score 50 goals for you, but he'll only have 2 assists. His job is not to pass, it's to score 50 goals, 2 assists. But you'll get someone like a Gyökeres who has 40 goals. Okay, let's use 50 as an example. So 50 goals, you'd find Haaland has 49 goals, 1 assist. You'd find Gyökeres has 35 goals and 15 assists. But someone like Watkins, if he had 50 goal contributions, you'd find him with 30 goals, 20 assists or something. Last season, he had 19 goals and 13 assists in the Premier League in 37 games. And I think that is a player that 100% that I would like. And before this, I already wanted him back when he's in his Brentford days and his early Aston Villa days. And the fact that he can do both, and he can also, make runs in behind on the left side, on the right side, probably can play on the wing as well a few. That is a player I would want. That's why I've always thought that I would maybe prefer Gyökeres to an Isaac. I don't know, because of the fact that, he can also combine, but Isaac can also combine play anyway, like a player who can combine play, get a few assists, get goals, not just goals and staying in the box. No, they want someone who can contribute, like do both of them, like the way Jesus does, like, play on the wing, come back, make tackles, all that. Watkins is a player who can do that, but he knows how to score a goal as well. Like last season in the Premier League, this season so far, 10 goals, 5 assists. Last season, 19 goals, 13 assists. The previous season, 15 goals, 6 assists, 11 goals, 2 assists before that, 14 goals, 5 assists before that. We don't even have to look at the rest of his stats in the FA Cup and the Champions League. You already know how good he is. You already know that, he's already punished us the last week already. He scored the goal against us. One chance, boom, 1 goal, it's 2-2. That is the kind of player that we want. Now, he's 29 years of age. I've seen people 29-year-old. I don't think they're going to sell him for 60 million. I think if you're going to get him, it's going to go up to like 85 million or something. Maybe you're not going to pay it at once, or add-ons and all that. I don't know how it's going to work. I don't even know if you're going to actually get him. In my head, I'm already counting him as an Arsenal player because I'm just thinking, oh my goodness. Like I was already preparing to watch the Champions League games because this is like an hour before. And then I was like, nah, listen, we have to talk about Watkins. I got into on X and I'm like, okay, let's see what is happening right now. And then I see Watkins breaking news. I'm like, what? I did not expect that to come out tonight. And yeah, it's a bit weird that it's coming out like right before both teams play games, especially Aston Villa, a crucial one if they want to make a top 8. So that is very interesting. But the fact that you're trying to sign a player like this, that is absolutely great. So that was from Secret Scout, and then there's this one from Sammy Mockbell. It's understood Arsenal have made an initial offer for Ollie Watkins, which has been rejected by Aston Villa, but an improved attempt is expected. Mikel Arteta is a long-term admirer of the player. Another interesting thing is I've never known why people wait until the last minute. So it's not just Arsenal. Every single team, like if you see deadline day transfers, there's so many deadline day transfers where people are scrambling and scattering all around, to try and get the deal done. Like I would have loved Watkins early in the transfer window, but he's still a player that if he joined right now, he would absolutely be crucial. Now, I think I'm already counting him as an Arsenal player. I think you'd be allowed to play in the Champions League. I don't think Champions League have the thing like the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, where if you've played for a different team, that's when you can play for another team in the same competition. I think Champions League don't have that these days. I'm not 100% sure, maybe 70% sure, but I think that is the case. But also in the league is a player who could make the difference. Like I know he's 29 years of age, but for 4-year contract for 60-70 million, I would take it. Like it's a player who would change everything for us. We've not had a striker like that since Aubameyang. Not had a striker like that. So this is a player that would take us to the next level that we need to go to. And listen, right now, Havertz, Trossard, Martinelli. If you add Watkins to that, all of a sudden it sounds better. Havertz, Watkins, Trossard, Martinelli. It sounds better. Those games where you have you're drawing 1-1 and there's 10 minutes to go. A game where Man United are down to 10 men and you need to score, and you put all those players in the box, Havertz, Watkins. And me, I'm in the camp where I don't want Havertz to be sold. I know some of you are talking about Havertz being sold. No, I don't want Havertz to be sold. He still scores a lot of goals for us. He doesn't score 40 or 50, but he's still our top scorer. He still chips in with a lot of crucial goals. Now, the thing that we don't want is Havertz to be not dependent on and to play every single game. Even the fact that in terms of fatigue, he's played way too many games. I've not seen the Arsenal lineup yet, but I don't want him to start tonight. Probably he will start. I don't know. Imagine you have a game where you've started Watkins, Martinelli, and Trossard, and then the last 20 minutes you're drawing, you throw in Havertz. You have 2 front players, Havertz and Watkins. Even if you put in those crosses, you have 2-3 different players to get in at the back of at the end of them. Absolutely fantastic. That would be great. So this is going to be interesting to see how how we approach it from now after. So it's going to be an interesting couple of days. Today is 29th. The transfer window is closing on Monday. So today is Wednesday. So we have 4 or 5 days to go. I don't think we're going to have him. Even if we sign him, I don't think you're going to see him until after the Dubai break, because he can't play the Carabao Cup and he won't be able to play the Champions League, or not Champions League, sorry, the Man City game. It will be too late unless we make a miraculous signing tomorrow, which would be absolutely crazy. But this is not news I was expecting today. This is absolutely welcome. We 100% need a striker. 2 seasons ago, after the 22-23 season, I was doing shows every single day and I was saying, listen, I don't think we need a striker. Look at Martinelli scoring goals. Odegaard has just scored 15. This one has scored this one. Trossard has been, we've just signed Trossard. He's had 11 assists in like 4 months after the 2023 season. I was like, yes, let's improve other positions, you know. I was like, let's get, I think at that time I wanted a midfielder. I think I wanted a backup for Saka. I think I wanted a defender at that time, 2023 season after. But and then we went on and we broke our record for scoring goals again. But last season, something I said is we've scored a lot of goals. The previous season, I said you don't need a striker. This season, I think we need a striker. That is what I said. Why? Because I feel like Raya is such a good goalkeeper. We can't improve on that. Defensively, we have so many good players, Saliba, Gabriel. We can't really improve on that. We have players like Declan Rice and players like Saka. We cannot really improve on that. Odegaard as well and all those guys. The only position that we can improve, and we've never really tried to improve, is the striker position. And that is players like Oli Watkins and Isaac. And I said, listen, we might not need that position, but that is the only position that we've never tried to improve. We've competed for the Premier League title twice. We've had a good defense. We've had a good midfield. We've scored goals. But what about we add to it? You know, let's not rest. Let's add to it. That is the only position that we can improve. Looking at our team, go out there and improve that position. So we obviously didn't sign any striker in the summer. But we still need a striker. We still need a striker. We've seen it this season. We missed so many chances. There's games like that, like Liverpool last season in the FA Cup, Newcastle United this season. Newcastle and Man United this season in the FA Cup and Carabao Cup, they're not supposed to beat us. Like, we had so many shots, so many chances in those games, but they beat us because, you know, we didn't have anyone to finish those chances. And as I always say as well, when a player like Watkins or Isaac or Gyökeres joins your team, that boosts everyone. Maybe that could even make Havertz feel like, oh, you know, finally someone to help me. Or you could feel like, oh, they brought in another striker, and now I need to really like up my game as well. Both are positives. Players like Saka and Odegaard, they look at it like, okay, we're not really being depended on here, and we have someone that, you know, I can pass the ball to. And Odegaard, you know, creating like 7 chances, like one of the games recently, you know, and it doesn't get an assist. That is crazy. So we want a player that can, you know, can do all that for us, can improve the, you know, the feeling in the team, improve the feeling in the fan base, because that is the one thing that is always people are always talking about. Why have you not signed a striker? If you finally sign a striker, come on, the mood would be so good. And someone like me, I'm very positive about Arteta. I feel like he's going to definitely win something for us. I'm nowhere near saying Arteta out. I'm nowhere near saying get Trossard out of this club. I'm nowhere near saying, you know, get Ben White out of this club. No, we have such a good team. We're just missing a couple of pieces. Let's get it. Let's get a winger that can play on the left and right side. Let's get a striker, and we're good to go. So let's see how it goes. Tonight's the game, after a match review after that, and then maybe we'll discuss that after that. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch up with you guys on the next one.